Coming up, more South Dakotans are getting vaccinated against COVID-19 every day. We check in on Phase 1D.
Plus, Sanford Health rolls out vaccine clinics for people living in smaller communities. Good morning. This is KELOLAND On The Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Vaccinating for COVID-19 continues. Yesterday in Sioux Falls at the Denny Sanford Premier Center, law enforcement, EMS workers, healthcare workers, paramedics, and EMTs were able to receive their second COVID-19 vaccine.
It will soon be easier for South Dakota seniors living in 2 rural counties to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Sanford Health announced vaccine events that will take place at the Salem Armory for people who are 80 years and older. The first one is today.
Over the next several weeks, we do have scheduled clinics in the Salem Armory for McCook and Minor counties. Our intent is to be there every other week to provide ongoing vaccine support as well as provide second doses as those become available and scheduled.
You must go online to be added to the wait list for an appointment. Sanford Health will then contact you to make a schedule.
The Monument Health System in western KELOLAND has vaccinated about 10,500 people. Right now, the distribution process is in Phase 1D.
Health officials say this is a large group, including categories such as people 80 years and older, transplant, dialysis, and cancer treatment patients, and people who live in congregate settings.
In the entire 1D group, there are about 265,000 people in the entire state, and then in western South Dakota, there are 72,000 people.
Health officials say we can expect to be in Phase 1D through the end of March.
Turning to weather now, the week has started cold here in KELOLAND.
But how long will these temps stick around? Let's find out with meteorologist Brian Karstens.
Yeah, pretty chilly out there this morning, but it could be worse as we look at the latest maps this morning. Look at these temperatures from overnight. Northern Minnesota, minus 20s. We've had even a couple spots near International Falls at 30 below zero. Ooh, that's getting cold. And, well, we're getting teased by a little piece of this here today, but I do think overall it's still a moderating trend this afternoon across much of South Dakota, especially for the west. Cloud cover will be an issue from time to time. Clouds are pretty shallow and also yielding a few flurries in the forecast. Not too windy. Wind speeds today 5 to 15 miles per hour, and we should trend with partly to mostly cloudy skies for tonight. But remaining dry into this forecast going into tomorrow. Southerly winds will pick up speed, and that will also make a difference on the forecast. Well, coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to run down the 7-day forecast, and it will include warming temperatures. That and more coming up.
Thanks, Brian. After sewing hundreds of masks, a KELOLAND woman is using the leftover materials to thank healthcare heroes in a unique way. Linda Sylvie is calling it the quilt of many colors.
It is currently hanging in the Sanford Clinic in Rock Rapids, Iowa, and will be displayed in other healthcare facilities over the coming months.
I made the quilt. I did the cathedral window style, and then I have an embroidery machine, and so then I embroidered on some fabric. Thank you to our healthcare heroes.
Sylvie says the act of kindness is meant to shine a light on those on the front lines and serve as a big thank you.
She says for anyone struggling during this time, an act of kindness is the best pick-me-up.
Feeding South Dakota already has 5 distribution sites in Sioux Falls, but is looking to more than double that number by this summer.
The food giveaway program started in October after the organization had to close down its food pantry due to the pandemic to keep people safe.
So when we closed because of the virus, it gave us time to really step back, look, and analyze this and say, if we are ever going to make this transition, now's the time to do it.
Gasson says setting up distribution sites in neighborhoods is a much more efficient way of reaching families in need. Donations for Keep KELOLAND Warm are still being accepted at the St. Francis House in Sioux Falls. The time frame for dropping off your new or gently used winter coats and apparel is longer this year.
Since Keep KELOLAND Warm kicked off months ago, more than 1,200 coats have been distributed to people served within 14 different agencies.
Well, it's a great partnership with all the agencies working together for the greater cause of making sure that we're keeping people warm in this community.
If you're in need of a coat, you can work with one of the agencies. We provided a list in this story right here on KELOLAND.com.
And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather it is. A few flurries today. Just a few clouds left over in the forecast as well. But as we trend toward the end of the week, we do see things kind of turning around temperature-wise, especially for western South Dakota. Anybody without a lot of snow on the ground, you're going to probably do the best on these temperatures, especially by Thursday and Friday, as readings out here in the west really go back up here, 40s, even 50-degree weather. Sioux Falls, probably not that warm. We're going to go with lower to middle 30s as we get toward Friday and Saturday. And then as we look at the weekend, here's the latest. We've got a system pulling into the plains. That centered there over Kansas on Saturday morning, and then developing rain and snow with it. Now, of course, we have many things to watch. We always mention the storm tracks and, of course, the intensity of the snow behind it. But it looks to me like we have a fair chance of a plowable snow behind or near that low pressure track. And so keep that in mind, that parts of KELOLAND could easily be included, and that would mainly be in the south and the southeast. Otherwise, as we go into the short-term forecast, not bad today. 19 Sioux Falls, just a little below normal, but the wind is pretty light, 5 to 10. Sioux Falls area tonight, 8 degrees. Worthington down to 2. Sisseton 6, and then Rapid City 21. Tomorrow, we'll rebound into those 40s in western South Dakota. Look at that, 44. Phillip and Valentine, Chamberlain 35, Mitchell 31, and the 7-day forecast in the 30s to start the weekend. But pretty good chance of some snow Sunday, but not cold behind that storm. That system will not lock into Arctic air, it appears. So highs still in the upper 20s and low 30s there. Aberdeen in the northeast, a stretch of 30-degree weather, very common into early next week, and about a 30% chance of snow on Sunday. Pierre, 20% chance of snow, but more importantly, looking at numbers rising again by the end of the forecast. A batch of 40s there, and even 50-degree weather could be returning to Rapid City. Check out the details with our Storm Center update right now at KELOLAND.com, and have a great day.